This is big, breaking, emergency news. You need to be getting prepared right now because we could see a major war about to break out. All right, we just saw the U.S. military make a major decision, and other countries are going to see this as a threat and as them declaring war against their countries. All right, this conflict is reaching a head, and we actually just got issued a warning about this conflict just yesterday that when this pops off, we are going to see the water turned off and we're going to see the power turned off. All right, and the White House just issued a warning yesterday that the water is going to be turned off if there's a major war with China. Now we have the US and China right now on the verge of war. So let's get into the details here really quick. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'm posting multiple videos a day, keeping you guys updated on this urgent breaking news. All right, check this out though. This just broke. The US military and troops have been sent to Taiwan, 3 miles from China's border. The US military is 3 miles from China's border right now. They're preparing for something big. You can see here this article. It says world on the brink as Taiwan admits troops are now stationed on the Chinese border. All right, this is very serious. This article just came out today, Wednesday, March 20th. It says American troops are being permanently stationed in Taiwan, according to Taipei, a huge movement that will likely send tensions with China soaring as President Xi covets the island. And the reason why this is so serious is because China considers Taiwan a part of their mainland. Okay, they consider it a territory. It's like Hawaii. It's like if China started putting troops in Hawaii. That's how China considers it for them. But it's even more dear because they think Taiwan has been a part of mainland China forever. For centuries and centuries, they think Taiwan has been a part of China. But in recent history, it has declared its independence as its own country and wants to be its own country. All right, so that's essentially what we're dealing with here. Or if China started putting troops inside of Puerto Rico, which is a U.S. territory, right? It's not a state, but it's a U.S. territory, and it's right there next to Florida. Or if China put troops in Cuba, if China was putting troops in Mexico, 3 miles from our U.S. border, imagine that. That's what's happening right now with China and the U.S., and they're getting prepared for a major war to break out. You can see here, it says that Taiwan has officially confirmed the presence of U.S. troops stationed on the island and the Taiwan Strait permanently, a development that could further escalate mounting tensions with China. It says the National Defense Authorization Act passed in 2023 facilitated the deployment of these troops to conduct training programs for Taiwanese frontline forces. And you can see here it's saying that according to reports from Taiwan's United Daily News, U.S. Army Green Berets from the 1st Special Forces Group are now permanently stationed at the bases of the 101st Amphibious Reconnaissance Battalion, a Taiwanese Army Special Operations Force located in the outlying island counties of Penghu and Kinmen. Notably, Kinmen lies just over a mile from Chinese shores. Look at this. This is where U.S. military troops are. Do you see this island here? This is Kinmen Island. Look at Taiwan. Taiwan is over here. This is Taiwan. This is China. And U.S. troops are right on this island. They're not even in Taiwan. They're technically in Taiwan because this island is technically part of Taiwan. But you can see here, U.S. troops are right there. And all these other major cities and shores in China. All right, so this is very big news. This is a major escalation, and this is warning that we are going to see something pop off very soon. Very soon, right? We also just got a warning from a top U.S. admiral, and he was warning that China is ramping up their nuclear weapons capabilities. That is what he is warning of with the intel he is getting. And this is a major threat for the US. All right. Something else to think about is that China has a ton, I'm talking about a ton, possibly more deep underground military bases than the United States. If the same, if not more, amount of underground tunnels and underground bunkers, and they actually do and produce their nuclear weapons in these underground facilities and underground tunnels. I've made whole videos on it, breaking it down, and that is where a lot of their weapons production is done. So they don't really even know what's going on, but their intel is warning them that they are ramping up the nuclear weapons production. That's what a top US admiral is warning of. All right, so this is crazy. Imagine if there were Chinese troops off a little tiny random island off the coast of the US. This coast, look at how close this is. You could swim over there. All right, this is crazy. This is a major provocation to China from the US. All right, yeah, think about it. If the roles were reversed, we would be freaking out in the US, and China is probably freaking out, and this means that we could see something big happen very soon. If you saw my video yesterday, they were warning that this Volt Typhoon program already has backdoors in all the water systems throughout the United States, all right? And they are waiting for a conflict with Taiwan to turn off communications with the United States. So they're trying to prevent, because they already have Taiwan surrounded. They've already done many drills and tests where they can put up a blocking barrier, a radar barrier around Taiwan. They surround Taiwan with their ships, and there's no external communications coming into Taiwan. All right, they can already do that. They've already been cutting their cables, doing drills for that. They're ready to cut Taiwan off from the world and communications in the event of this invasion of Taiwan, right? But they also want to cut off communications inside the US domestically as well, to prevent any type of response and communications with Northcom, NORAD, the president, right? Nobody's able to make Pentagon. Nobody can communicate and make decisions effectively and quickly if their communications are wiped offline, right? And if the water's turned off, if the power's turned off, the military bases, everything, they all operate on the same power system and grid system that the citizens do, right? And I just had my power turn off just a little bit ago, right? I was recording a couple videos here, and in between this video and the other video I recorded earlier, the power was off for about an hour, right? And I had to crack on my generator, so that's why these videos are going to be out pretty late tonight, right? I had to get my generator out, right? My phone was almost dead. I was not prepared. My phone was almost dead. I was freaking out. I was like, I am not prepared. My phone's almost dead and the power's out. I can't believe I allowed this to happen, right? Phone's almost dead. I had to crack my generator out, had to get it going, cranked it up. We got the phones charging. We got a lamp going. And we had our kerosene lamp as well, all right? That was very helpful as well. So have these things ready. The power went out. I had my headlamp. The kids had their little lanterns, their little tiny kid lanterns that they have. We had flashlights, everything. We were ready to go, right? But I didn't expect it. It was still very unexpected. And I went and filled up my few water tanks. All right, I had a few that were empty from watering the chickens earlier. And I went and I ran over. As soon as the power went out, I was like, I need to fill up these other tanks. I went and filled up these tanks right away, because you lose the water pressure. You have a little bit of water pressure left. But if you're on city water, other people are going to be taking that water pressure from the main lines and from the pipes. So you have a little bit of pressure left. Fill up those tanks, fill up those jugs, fill up an old milk jug, anything you have, a pot, fill it up with water so you have some water if the power goes out. and the water goes out. That should be your number one thing. And we're on a well, so when the power's out, the water's out too. All right, so but the well still has some pressure, and I was able to fill up my few chicken tanks because I was worried. I was like, I want to have water for my animals and for us too, in case this goes on for a little bit longer. We have other tanks too, but I wanted to have them all filled up, ready to go. So that's what they're preparing for. That's what you need to be getting ready for too. All right, thousands of US troops have been deployed, and they're right there. We also are seeing escalations happen in other parts of the world, like in Israel, right? Israel just suffered a major cyber attack on their nuclear power plant in Dimona, okay? And this, it didn't shut anything down, but they were able to access a bunch of documents, a bunch of internal documents, and this sets them up for further cyber attacks. This information will be gleaned, this information will be looked at, and they will use it to get into an email, to get into some kind of account, and then that leads to another compromise. All right, and if they are able to target a nuclear power plant, it could cause a major radiological disaster if they're able to lock the operators out of the system, okay, and prevent checks and balances from happening within the system. We could see chaos, right? And that's something that could happen inside the United States as well. There was actually a nuclear facility in Idaho that suffered a major cyber attack 3 or 4 months ago now, okay? And they had all their systems locked out, and there were major compromises of all their data as well. So and this is a lot of times what they do the first time. They go in the first time and see what's going on, find all the back doors, see what's going on inside, and next time they can activate it for something big, for an even bigger attack. All right, so that is what we're seeing as well, a lot of dry runs for something else to happen. And these cyber attacks are so sketchy that they could be false flags as well. There could be other actors doing this, blaming other people for it in any arena. All right, so get prepared now, guys. They are preparing for a major war. The Pentagon, the military, they are preparing to go to war with China, right? And this is going to have ramifications on the supply chain, the economy. Everything is going to be affected, not to mention the kinetic aspects if we see attacks inside the US, if we see groups activated, if we start seeing the mainland hit, right? So get prepared, get stocked up, guys. Please hit it up for me down there. Go check out my video I posted earlier today, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.